If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The Cleveland Browns officially trimmed their roster down as they work towards shaping the 53-man group that will take the field in Week 1, and the first wave of news was both expected and surprising. Veteran quarterback Tyler Huntley, who many assumed would be the insurance policy behind Joe Flacco, found himself on the outside looking in. Cornerback Tony Brown, another veteran who brought experience to the locker room, was also let go. Those two headline moves were just the beginning, as the Browns announced 19 additional cuts to bring clarity to their depth chart. Among the more notable names released were tackle Jackson Barton and safety Nick Needham. Barton had starting experience in Arizona but couldn't secure a backup role in Cleveland, while Needham, a longtime Miami Dolphin, missed out on carving a nickel role. These decisions made one thing very clear: the Browns are prioritizing youth and upside. Looking at the complete list of cuts, it's clear that the Browns weren't just trimming excess weight. They were sending a message about the direction of this roster. Players like Chigozie Anuzium, Sal Cannella, and Javion Cohen may not have been expected to crack the final 53, but others like KJ Henry and Darius Rush raised some eyebrows. Both were mid-round draft picks just a year ago and carried potential to become rotational contributors. Henry, in particular, had real flashes as a rookie in Washington, even starting a few games, but a whirlwind of roster moves left him drifting from one team to another. Rush, meanwhile, has the physical tools scouts drool over, but has never managed to lock down consistent playing time. The Browns apparently decided that instead of betting on reclamation projects, they'd invest their reps in younger, developmental players who can grow in their system rather than those still searching for stability. For players like Barton and Needham, the decision isn't necessarily the end of their NFL story. Both are vested veterans, meaning they don't have to go through the waiver process and can sign with any team immediately. That distinction matters because injuries pile up quickly in the NFL, and depth across the league always takes hits as the season wears on. Barton has started games at tackle and provides immediate plug-and-play potential, while Needham's experience in nickel coverage could be valuable to a team struggling in the secondary. For the rest of the group, 17 players waived. The next 24 hours will be critical. Teams across the league will scour the wire for talent, and many of these Browns castoffs may land practice squad invitations either in Cleveland or elsewhere. It's a harsh reality of the league. Being cut today doesn't necessarily mean the door is closed tomorrow, but the margins are razor thin for these fringe players trying to keep their careers alive. Lost in the shuffle of these cuts, though, is the fact that Cleveland's quarterback picture just became much clearer, and that's where Shedeur Sanders enters the conversation. With Tyler Huntley gone, the Browns are carrying 4 quarterbacks, and Sanders looks poised to secure one of those coveted roster spots. The son of Deion Sanders was already a headline name heading into the preseason, but now, with the dust settling, it appears Cleveland intends to give him an extended runway to grow. Sanders didn't blow anyone away statistically this August, finishing 17 of 29 for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he showcased poise, composure, and flashes of the accuracy that made him a household name at Colorado. Most importantly, he showed growth with every rep, and the Browns seem willing to nurture that development rather than opting for a safer, veteran backup who wouldn't offer as much long-term upside. Sanders himself wasted no time acknowledging the opportunity. Shortly after news of Huntley's release spread, he posted a heartfelt message on Instagram thanking fans for their support and promising to keep grinding. In his words, every rep is a chance to improve, and he understands the challenge ahead. That humility paired with confidence is exactly what teams want to see in a young quarterback fighting to establish himself. He knows Joe Flacco is the starter for now, and he's not pretending otherwise. But Sanders also knows that football is unpredictable. One injury, one slump, or one breakthrough performance in practice could change his role instantly. By putting his mindset on display publicly, Sanders sent a message not only to fans but also to his teammates and coaches. He's here to work, not coast. And in a city that has long searched for a reliable quarterback, that mentality resonates powerfully. Of course, the quarterback depth chart remains fluid, and Sanders has stiff competition. Veteran Kenny Pickett is listed as the second-string option, though a hamstring injury kept him sidelined throughout the preseason. That leaves Dillon Gabriel, another rookie, jockeying for position alongside Sanders. Gabriel posted solid preseason numbers. 25 completions on 37 attempts for 272 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, giving the Browns coaching staff plenty to evaluate. At the moment, Sanders and Gabriel are officially listed as third stringers, which sounds like a demotion but is really more of a technicality given the team's decision to carry 4 quarterbacks. Both rookies are essentially in developmental slots while the Browns sort out their present with Flacco and their future with one of these young arms. It's an unusual quarterback room, but it speaks volumes about Cleveland's desire to finally secure long-term stability at the position. And make no mistake, this is about the future. Joe Flacco is 40 years old, and while he's been named the Week 1 starter, nobody around the league believes he's anything more than a one-year placeholder. His job is to keep the offense steady, manage games, and provide veteran leadership, not to be the franchise savior. That responsibility will eventually fall to someone younger, whether it's Sanders or Gabriel. The Browns' decision to hold on to both suggests they're keeping their options open, waiting to see which one rises to the occasion. It's almost like a long-term audition, with both rookies essentially shadowing Flacco while also competing against each other for the role of quarterback of the future. The organization's patience is notable. Too often, teams throw rookies into the fire too soon. By allowing Sanders and Gabriel to learn behind Flacco, Cleveland may actually be setting them up for success. Sanders' college resume speaks to why the Browns were willing to take that gamble in the first place. At Colorado, he didn't just put up numbers. He led the entire FBS with a 74% completion rate, while tossing for over 4,100 yards and 37 touchdowns against only 10 interceptions. Those numbers scream first-round pick, but concerns about his frame, his ability to handle NFL pass rushes, and the inconsistent performance of Colorado's offensive line last season caused him to slide in the draft all the way to the 5th round. For Cleveland, that slide represented an opportunity. They scooped up a player with first-round talent at a mid-round price, and now they're giving him the time to grow into that potential. If Sanders develops as many believe he can, this could go down as one of the great steals of the 2025 draft. General Manager Andrew Berry has been careful not to pile too much pressure on Sanders, but his comments show real belief in the young quarterback. He's emphasized that this is a process, that progress will be gradual, and that the organization values patience. At the same time, Berry isn't shy about the fact that Sanders could eventually be the guy. That balance is important. It tempers expectations for fans hungry for instant results while also signaling confidence to Sanders himself. For a rookie quarterback, knowing the front office has your back can be the difference between thriving and crumbling under pressure. The Browns aren't promising Sanders the starting job anytime soon, but they're also not closing that door. In a league where narratives change weekly, that's all a young player can ask for, the chance to prove himself over time. So when you look at the Browns' roster cuts as a whole, the story isn't just about the names that were released. It's about what those moves symbolize. This team is clearly building towards something, prioritizing youth, development, and the long game over short-term fixes. Veterans like Huntley and Needham didn't make the cut not because they lacked talent, but because the Browns chose a different path. And with Shedeur Sanders still standing after all the dust settled, it's impossible to ignore the symbolic weight of that decision. It's not just about filling a quarterback slot. It's about signaling belief in a potential franchise cornerstone. Cleveland has endured years of quarterback instability, but today's move suggests they finally see a roadmap forward. Whether Sanders ultimately seizes that opportunity remains to be seen, but for now, Browns fans can dream a little bigger, and that in itself feels like progress. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. The Cleveland Browns locker room is reportedly in chaos, and the whispers coming out of Berea are growing louder by the day. Sources close to the team are suggesting that a massive clash is brewing between star defensive end Myles Garrett and quarterback Deshaun Watson, with tensions so high that Garrett allegedly refuses to even consider playing alongside Watson on the field. Insiders claim that the defensive stalwart sees Watson as a liability, and his frustration is reportedly echoed by several other veterans in the locker room who feel the team's chemistry has been completely disrupted. According to these unconfirmed sources, what started as a series of disagreements over practice routines and offensive schemes has escalated into a full-blown mutiny against the quarterback, with players openly expressing disdain during team meetings, causing growing concern among coaching staff and executives alike, who fear the team may fracture under this mounting internal pressure. Rumors have circulated that the tension isn't just professional but personal, with Garrett allegedly feeling disrespected by Watson's attitude both on and off the field. Word from insiders suggests that multiple players have privately told coaches that they no longer trust Watson to lead the offense, with some even claiming they actively avoid communication with him during team activities. Reports from anonymous sources indicate that the locker room dynamic has shifted dramatically compared to previous seasons, and that the presence of Watson has triggered a wave of complaints that never reached this level of intensity before. This unrest, if true, could have devastating consequences for team morale, as players are said to be walking a fine line between maintaining professionalism and openly voicing their dissatisfaction. Analysts speculating from these rumors are suggesting that if the conflict escalates further, it could lead to unprecedented actions, including potential roster changes or even high-profile trades to restore harmony, though nothing has been confirmed. The timing of this alleged conflict is also raising eyebrows, as it reportedly comes just as the Browns are preparing for critical matchups that could define their season. Sources hint that the tension between Garrett and Watson has already started affecting practice performance, with defensive drills reportedly disrupted by heated arguments and offensive sessions marked by visible frustration among key players. Rumor has it that Garrett has become increasingly vocal during meetings, sometimes challenging coaching decisions he believes favor Watson, creating an atmosphere of unease. Even team insiders suggest that while official statements continue to project unity, whispers in the hallways tell a different story, with some players allegedly contemplating whether they can continue under the current quarterback leadership. Social media chatter has only fueled the speculation, with fans dissecting every minor interaction captured on video or reported by local journalists, intensifying the perception that a storm may be brewing within the Browns' locker room. Adding fuel to the fire, unverified reports suggest that veteran players are privately discussing ways to express their dissatisfaction without drawing league penalties, indicating that the frustration has reached a level where it might influence both on-field performance and strategic planning. Some sources claim that Garrett has been in confidential conversations with team management, emphasizing that he cannot, in good conscience, play alongside Watson if the current climate persists. Meanwhile, Watson's camp is reportedly aware of the whispers, but is keeping a low profile, fueling speculation about how he is handling the pressure. Observers note that while no public confrontation has occurred, the atmosphere is reportedly tense enough that even minor disagreements have the potential to escalate into more visible disputes. These insider accounts paint a picture of a locker room under siege, where loyalty and performance are being weighed against personal grievances and long-standing frustrations that may finally be coming to a head. The impact of these rumors extends beyond the locker room, as analysts and former players are weighing in on the potential consequences for the Browns' season. If Garrett and other defensive leaders truly refuse to play with Watson, it could lead to a cascade of negative outcomes, including a destabilized defense and disjointed offensive coordination. Experts are speculating that even a short-term reduction in trust between key players can be catastrophic in high-pressure games, where split-second decisions rely on implicit confidence. While some insiders caution against taking every rumor at face value, the sheer volume and consistency of reports suggesting a deep-seated feud between Garrett and Watson have led to increased scrutiny from the media, creating a feedback loop where speculation itself becomes a factor in the team's perceived instability. Even casual observers are reportedly noticing subtle changes in interactions, body language, and sideline behavior that align with the stories being circulated, intensifying the sense that a significant rift may exist. Adding another layer to the controversy, sources hint that Garrett's outspoken dissatisfaction has emboldened other players to voice their own grievances, creating a ripple effect that has left coaches scrambling to maintain authority and cohesion. The alleged locker room rebellion is described by insiders as a series of quiet yet pointed actions, from avoiding direct communication with Watson to subtle forms of noncompliance during team drills. While the Browns management continues to issue statements emphasizing unity, behind the scenes, rumors suggest that internal meetings are tense, private conversations are fraught with caution, and the potential for a major shakeup looms over the franchise. Analysts are drawing parallels to other high-profile locker room conflicts in professional sports, where unresolved tensions ultimately force teams to make difficult roster decisions or initiate major leadership changes, illustrating the potentially serious ramifications of what may still be a developing story. Fans are reportedly split in their reactions, with some siding with Garrett's alleged stance, praising his loyalty to the team's defensive identity and demanding accountability from the quarterback. Others are defending Watson, pointing out his track record and arguing that team success requires collective effort rather than personal grudges. Social media forums are buzzing with speculation, theories, and heated debates, with insider leaks only intensifying the discussion. While no official disciplinary action or trade has been reported, the ongoing chatter has created a sense of urgency, as analysts predict that if these rumors hold any truth, management may need to act quickly to prevent the conflict from undermining the team's performance in the most critical stretch of the season. The fan base's reaction, while speculative, could also play a role in amplifying internal pressures, according to sports commentators who follow team dynamics closely. Insider reports continue to describe an evolving scenario, suggesting that Garrett's dissatisfaction has reached a tipping point where his willingness to play alongside Watson is in serious question. Allegedly, other veterans are quietly aligning with him, creating factions within the team that complicate coaching strategies and game planning. While the Browns' public messaging emphasizes a culture of resilience and teamwork, the persistent rumors paint a contrasting picture of discord, internal frustration, and a locker room grappling with loyalty conflicts. Observers note that such situations often escalate if not managed with extreme care, highlighting the delicate balance between maintaining player morale, upholding leadership authority, and ensuring competitive performance. Even casual commentary is now focused on interpreting interactions between Garrett and Watson, suggesting that every sideline gesture or public comment is being scrutinized for signs of deeper conflict. The alleged tension also reportedly affects off-season preparations, with sources claiming that team activities and workouts have been overshadowed by interpersonal friction. Garrett's supposed stance against playing with Watson is said to have created a sense of apprehension among younger players, who may feel caught between respecting veterans and supporting the quarterback. Reports suggest that this dynamic could hinder development, affect team cohesion, and make it more difficult for coaches to implement complex game plans. The rumor mill continues to thrive on every small incident, from sideline disagreements to cryptic social media posts, feeding speculation that the Browns are navigating a minefield of internal politics. If the alleged divide persists, analysts predict the team could experience a performance drop that mirrors other high-profile locker room conflicts, turning early season expectations into a struggle for stability. Sources hint that even league insiders are paying attention to the Browns' internal situation, as rumors of a potential revolt involving a defensive superstar and the team's starting quarterback are nearly unprecedented in their scale. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the continuous stream of leaks has fueled intense media coverage and generated widespread fan concern. Observers note that if Garrett's rumored refusal to play alongside Watson is genuine, the implications for trade discussions, contract negotiations, and even coaching strategies could be enormous. Analysts suggest that resolving the tension may require creative leadership solutions, whether through mediation, structured communication initiatives, or dramatic roster adjustments. Every development is being dissected in real time by insiders, commentators, and fans, keeping the Browns' locker room at the center of a swirling storm of speculation that could dominate headlines for weeks to come. Amidst the growing storm, the Browns' coaching staff is reportedly walking a tightrope, trying to maintain operational efficiency while managing the alleged feud between Garrett and Watson. Rumors suggest that some coaches are privately attempting to broker understanding, while others are allegedly frustrated by what they see as an ongoing distraction undermining practice routines and game planning. Insider accounts indicate that the team's executive leadership is closely monitoring the situation, weighing whether immediate intervention is required or if letting the conflict play out naturally is strategically preferable. Analysts predict that the longer this tension persists, the more likely it is to affect team chemistry, player performance, and even fan perception. In a scenario where speculation merges with reality, the Browns' season could hang in the balance, leaving observers eagerly awaiting the next development, whether it be a public statement, a trade rumor, or a dramatic sideline confrontation that validates the growing narrative of locker room discord. Even as the Browns attempt to project calm and unity to the public, the rumor mill continues to churn, painting a picture of a team in internal turmoil with a potential mutiny brewing around its star defensive end. Observers are now dissecting every press conference, sideline interaction, and social media post for clues, feeding a cycle of speculation and anticipation. According to insiders, Garrett's alleged position against playing with Watson has emboldened some teammates while leaving others uncertain, creating a volatile mix that could influence not only games, but also the broader culture of the franchise. Sports commentators warn that if the internal discord is real and left unresolved, it could echo throughout the league, impacting trade markets, coaching reputations, and even fan engagement. As of now, the Browns' locker room remains a focal point for rumor, intrigue, and anticipation, with every rumor adding another layer to an already complex and unfolding saga. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!